financially, to be honest, I felt better because I could at least make money and pay and support myself versus being in Poland in a good school and not even have $1 to buy myself a sandwich. So I would go hungry a lot of times. Mental wellness, emotional intelligence, that's what is gonna get you through challenges and tough times. Like I tell everyone, if something happens and they take me and they put me in a garage and they say, you have to live here, I don't care. Because the outside world, like the materialistic stuff, like if you detach yourself from that and you cultivate what you have inside, nothing is going to break you.
I never dislike anybody. If I like you, it means you probably screw me over $10 million. Then I like you. But I love everybody. After divorce, I hate my ex-wife. And I'm like, I can't carry this stuff. And I went completely toward. And I really didn't do it for her. I did it for me. Because I was scared that the feeling I have to one person, I like everybody. Like, you screw me over something or you did something really bad, then I like you.
Welcome to Mastering the Inner and Outer Wealth with your host, Jarek Tadla, where we dive deep into the art of building freedom from the inside out. Together, we'll uncover practical strategies, real-life success stories, and expert insights to help you master your inner wealth and create the life you've always wanted. So let's get started.
Thank you, guys. Welcome to the Mastering Inner Wealth and Outer Wealth podcast. Today with Jarek Tadla. Guys, follow me, subscribe me, put like, do whatever. You know where to find me. Today we have a guest. We have a Dominika Laureto, who is founder of the Wealth. Jesus. I'm not going to do that, guys. I'm going to have Dominika, introduce yourself and don't be shy. And I know you are going to be shy, so go ahead.
A little bit at the beginning. Hi, I'm Dominika Laureto. I'm a CEO and a founder of Supreme Wellness Aesthetics and Recovery. It's a wellness center combined with aesthetic treatments located in Chicagoland. We have 2 locations. We work with doctors, functional medicine providers, and wellness coaches, and we deliver a blend of aesthetic medicine, wellness, recovery, and I don't want to say mental health, emotional intelligence treatment that kind of puts you in balance.
Or you know what my new word is? The brain health.
Brain health.
But when you have brain health and emotional intelligence, that's what it's like people want to.
I like that.
Because when you kind of like, it's a stereotype. When you say like a mental health, it's like, people, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Well, but there are things wrong with us, and if you acknowledge that, it's just much better. But yes.
So it's like, I have in the book like the 48 power. So I acknowledge everything, and so I take the power away from people. But we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep because it's like we connected immediately the second you walked in and we start talking. So we're gonna talk a lot about the inner wealth on this podcast, and we start immediately. We connected. I'm the introvert, you the introvert. Mm-hmm. I always said I'm socially awkward, which I'm not. You always said that. And it got us from the childhood. Mm-hmm. And the stuff that we talk, that we say to ourselves, our mind doesn't know the difference, and then we believe it.
Right.
And then becomes our identity and become our story.
Reality, yeah.
Bullshit story.
Yeah.
And then we just, we go around people, it's like, everybody is the same. But everybody hides, so we have a better masks.
Right.
So tell me your journey. I know I came in 93 from Poland. By the way, guys, we're both Polish. We're not going to speak Polish. And I came in 93. You came in 2005. And how does your journey took you from here to here?
Mm-hmm. So, I was born in Poland in a very little town. My mom is a midwife, so has a medical background. My father was the chief of fire department. So you would think middle-class family, right? I mean, if they know how to manage money, you can get a decent life. Well, unfortunately, how they were raised, their mindset was just probably this big. And that's what they told me and my sister. So it was every day, you're not good enough. Whatever I wanted, you're not good enough. You're not good enough to go to good school. You're not good enough to play with these kids. You're not good enough to meet these people. If I ever met like someone who had a doctor degree, we had to like bow because we're not good enough for them. So that constant, repetition of sit quiet, don't talk, you're not good enough, why you're speaking, shut up, you're stupid. That's it programs in you. So your subconscious mind picks up that, and then you grow thinking, I'm this little and I cannot talk. I better not speak. I better not say a word. I'm stupid and I'm not good enough.
And now you're talking, and you wanna say your voice, because that's what I wrote. I wrote the book Not Enoughness because of the voice, because that's what I was told. Then I was telling myself that, and then I believed in that, and then because my identity, and then I was hiding.
Right.
And then I built that walls around me so nobody can get into me.
So I did kind of the same.
But I kept the pain.
Yeah.
Also.
Because you do keep the pain.
Yes.
Because it's a very similar story. So I excelled in school. I was very good at anything I touched like academic, because I don't know, maybe I want to just prove the environment and everyone around me. Maybe I want to prove my parents that I'm good enough, but nothing was good enough. The more I did, the more I felt inside, I'm not good enough, right? I come to United States in 2005. I clean houses at the beginning. Financially, to be honest, I felt better because I could at least make money and pay and support myself versus be in Poland in a good school and not even have $1 to buy myself a sandwich. So I would go hungry a lot of times. So at least here, I have a phone, I work, I can make a little bit of money. But the mindset and now I'm an immigrant who doesn't speak English. So I'm not good enough. I'm stupid. I don't speak English. I just came here. All I can do is clean houses and I'll never be anything more because I'm just stupid. So to take mindset like that and come from this to what I'm here, like what I'm now, it's tremendous improvement, but it is hard work. And I told myself, well, my dream was to speak on podcasts. And we were just talking 5 minutes ago. My husband is like, you're so smart. You have to come out of your comfort zone. You got to do something that you would never do. And I'm like, well, I would never do a podcast. And he's like, that's what you're going to do. I'm like, no, I'm not. He's like, yes, you will. And then slowly I forced myself into it. I've done a couple and I absolutely love it. Now I want to talk. Now I'm just that person that I have a voice. I can talk because as you go and you go through these pains, pain is just the opportunity to grow. If you can just go through the pain and overcome it, you grow. I think the key is not to stay in that pain. You just have to take it. Okay, this is my chance to grow. You can become whoever you want to become, but it just takes work.
Okay. So what was like for you the breaking point that you said, like, you know what, I had enough. That's it. Like, I'm coming out of my, shell. Like, I'm not comfortable with that. Or when you realize like your pain and make you who you are, and then you want to share the story. Did something happen, or just a one sentence of your husband, or bad relationship, child, like what?
So couple things. So I think like the main breakthrough, it was 2021. I was opening my second location, and my first location was doing very, very well. So now we are opening the second. Everything was going wrong, like from the construction, everything, the permits, the construction, the stuff we were ordering, the lease agreement, everything. We opened and it's a ghost town. We have no clients. So my husband, back then we were not married yet. He says, how much money did you put into that? And I said, about $1 million. And he literally got so anxious. He's like, $1 million? I'm like, $1 million? Where you think this is? The equipment costs like $700,000. He goes, are you going to make it? And then at that moment, I'm like, oh my God, am I going to make it? And I was like, Steve, I will do whatever it takes to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be better than Restore. I am going to make it. And he says, girl, well then fuck. I'm sorry for my language. Start talking. You need to start talking. You're so smart. You're hiding from people. You need to start telling you got to share your knowledge. You got to educate people. You know more than doctors. You need to start talking. It took me a moment, but I knew he was right. But it is like, so then I'm forcing myself. So then I'm going out to meet
Did you
people.
tell him he was right, or you just telling him on the podcast he was right?
Telling him, Steve, you were right.
Steve, you better listen to the podcast.
So now I'm like targeting people that back then I thought they were so, I don't know, powerful, knowledgeable, smart, like I'm here, they over here. So on purpose, I'm targeting these people and trying to connect with them, whether they were my clients or some charity groups or whoever. I kind of thought, okay, this is the person, this is going to be my mentor. And then like I shortly after realized, I'm like, wait, I'm actually more than that. So it was that moment. I'm like, I'm not saying this in a bad way, you know.
You'll have a better knowledge. That's
yes, like I'm like, oh my gosh.
We put those
know.
people on the pedestal, and we think that suddenly we meet them, and like, oh my god.
Oh my god, yes, I am this and more, you know. And so then I'm like talking to myself, why am I like this? What's wrong with me? I am smart. I'm knowledgeable. I have all it takes. Why am I?
Wow,
thinking?
how you
Yeah, so
how your inner dialogue
voice.
changed.
And at that moment, I just promised myself. So now we are in like 2023, maybe. I promised myself, I'm like, I'm going to tell myself every single day, I'm enough. I am wealthy, whether you think about outer wealth or inner wealth.
Yeah,
I'm
the wealth
abundant.
is, yes, people confuse the outer wealth with the inner wealth, and it's a completely
different things. I'm gonna practice gratitude every day. I'm gonna say to God, or whoever you believe. You know, I believe in God, so I say, God, thank you for everything I have. I'm blessed. I can support myself. I have more than enough because I and I am all of that. So this, honestly, like the prayer, the gratitude, the meditation, it's...
But how do you get, like, you just, because what happened is, for me, when I almost commit suicide, it was like a one switch.
Like switch.
How for you, was progressive or?
No, I think the switch was in the moment. So when, I'm not going to use the name, there was a person who I back then truly thought that she was on top of the mountain and I was at the bottom of the lake. So I thought, if I can be like her, that's what's going to make my life so much easier. So I connected with her. We became friends. And then 2 months later, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm on top of the mountain. She's at the bottom of the lake. Not in a bad way. But I realized perspective change. And I just realized in this moment that your beliefs create your reality. You are who you think you are. And I thought of myself that I'm just the stupid person.
She just said the magic words.
Yeah, you are who you think you are. And everything you believe, that's your reality. If I believe that I'm stupid and not worthy and not enough,
You are.
That's my reality, right? So from that moment, I'm like, no, I'm going to elevate my inner energy and I'm going to operate on higher energy level. And it doesn't take the switch. The switch. So that was the switch. I understood. It still takes work. It doesn't like next day you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, the journey, that's why we can share it, because I just talked to Dominika. Like, my journey is 4 years. Dominika said she's like 2 years, 2023. So that's why we're sharing the stuff we're learning. Like, I can teach you about real estate, but I've done it 32 years. So I don't even know. We in a journey. We in the mud right now, because we still I still do it on a daily basis.
Yes.
I go to the mirror every day. It's like, Jarek, I love you. I'm sorry I neglect you for so many years. I'm going to feed you with the right thoughts, with the right food, with the right energy, with the right, exercise. And like, I love you. I love you. You know what I mean? And I look at it into my eyes. And it's every single day.
Mm-hmm. So I took my assistants and I take her everywhere with me because she's my protector. She's that, I'm shy. So if anything, she can speak and I'm going to be just smiling. So that's
you have a chance to say anything.
Reason.
Even she was at the table, she was like...
So I still grow. I have so much more room to grow. I'm just blessed that I had that moment that I realized, okay, I am who I think I am. because now I can just grow from that, and every day is going to be better because, every day I can make the conscious decision, like stop the negative thinking. This is not you. You can be this or you can be that. You don't, but self-love, that like confidence, love, that peace of mind, it's such a blessing. And this is something that no one can take away from me. And because other health, you can lose it. I'm not, all that stuff.
You can lose it because you can go bankrupt. You can even lose the relationship. You can use a partner. You can use kids, like,
Right.
to the sickness or to the accidents. You never know. But you cannot lose yourself. It's within you.
You cannot use yourself, right? And that, mental wellness, emotional intelligence, that's what is gonna get you through challenges and tough times. Like I tell everyone, if something happens and they take me and they put me in a garage and they say, you have to live here, perfect. I don't care. I'm still gonna I don't care. Because the outside world, like the materialistic stuff, like if you detach yourself from that and you cultivate what you have inside, nothing is going to break you. And that's the lesson. That's what I feel a lot of people should.
So we don't have emotional attachment to.
You don't have
People ask me about money and about my wealth, like how do I build all the businesses, and I never have an emotional attachment to money.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Zero.
Same.
That's why, like, I'm losing money, and I'm like, okay, let's invest more. I'm like, this is like I don't. If I have it, I don't have it. I lose it. I don't lose it. It's just like zero. Yet I have my all emotional attachment to me.
Right.
I give the love to other people.
Right.
I give myself, and I was keep leaving myself empty.
Yeah.
And I got to the point that it was like, my inner wealth and the outer wealth were completely on two different, opposite sides that I almost break. So,
Right.
so now it's been your journey with 2 years, mine was 4 years. So you and I know personally that is still the end of of my life. I'm gonna be, because we opened the door. Mm-hmm. And now, how do you tell somebody that it's in the face, just, hey, at least have the awareness, but what I'm struggling personally, I'm asking you for help. What I'm struggling personally, because now I have a completely conscious level. I know exactly what I have to do, how to do it, and why to do it, through, reading, motivations, prayers, for me, mind, gym, and the brain health is the most important thing because they connected with my body. But my subconscious mind, it's been there for 50 years. Mm-hmm. So even I know here what is going on, but my subconscious mind still comes in and goes, like, when I need it or the least need it, it brings all the addict back.
Right.
And the pain comes back.
Right.
How do you work with your subconscious mind? Because, the self-sabotage, the self-critic still exist.
Yeah. So the one big issue with subconscious mind, it's gonna win every time, right? So consciously, where but subconsciously, if you think, okay, you're not a good person or not enough, that will always, subconscious mind will always win. So I think that and I'm a perfect example. I still have, let's say, we had a client who I didn't even know, it's a friend of my husband. It just, my husband tells me, well, he's a ambassador of Greece. And I was like, well, this person is like talking to me. Why is he talking? And then I'm like, oh my God. Well, because I'm a good person and I provide great service and the guy wants to talk to me. So you have to catch yourself. But I feel like daily repetition, mindfulness, meditation, that's what does it for me. I mean, like I said, I still have moments. I gotta catch myself and kill that thought. But I know, okay, the next day I'm gonna try 15 minutes instead of 10. And it's like the meditation, the gratitude. Thank you, God, for everything. I am, like you said, you go to the mirror and I love you, right? I say the same thing. Like, I love you. You look good today. Let's, just let's go. Positive energy. I know one thing, what changed for me is now when something bad happens, my response are way different than responses a year ago. I can detach myself from emotions. And I feel like, okay, this is my opportunity for growth. What's the solution here? Before, I was overstressed. I wouldn't sleep. I was just panicking. My heart was racing. I would get like panic attacks because something happened. I lost a decent amount of money recently. And because I allowed my sister to do something and she got scammed on money. It happens, whatever. So she calls me and she's the one who is like panicking, crying, sobbing, yelling at kids. And I'm like, well, first of all, stop yelling at kids. It's not their fault that we made mistake and we didn't do enough research to actually see who this person on the other side is. And second of all, hire a lawyer so that person doesn't scam other people and it's going to be fine. I'm just going to make money again. It's fine. You just stop, So then I'm like, okay, I was my sister a couple years. That's how I would react. I would yell at everyone. I would yell at Christina. I would blame her, blame other people for my own mistake. Now I can own up, detach completely. And honestly, I even like sabotage myself because I went to my husband and said, hey, just so you know, I lost whatever money. And I didn't even have to tell him because if I didn't tell him, he wouldn't never find out. And because I said that because I knew his reaction would be like, what? What did you do? But I wanted that because I wanted to, right?
Carry the energy because what happens?
Yes.
Toxic energy carries.
Right.
Carries.
I want to release the energy, first of all, and I want to test myself whether I am strong enough to overcome all these punches. And I am. Because he said what he was supposed to say. Christina was a witness. And I was like, I'm just fine. And I was happy that I went through that experience because the next day I prayed and I'm like, thank you, God, that you made me so strong. Because now I know that I'm ready for more. I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready for more positive energy, more positive things. With this, challenges will come because I feel that God or universe will give you all the things you want if you can handle all the challenges with it. Mm-hmm. If you can't, you're not going to get there. Because if you keep failing, you can't get to the next level. So when you're ready to overcome all the difficulties and challenges, that's where you're going to get more. So you're ready to accept more, right? Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, because what happened is when people's like, yeah, I got to forgive another person or forgive or forget. But the problem is that we really got to forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
And if we're doing this, we are selfish. Like I tell people, be selfish, forgive it. Yeah. You're doing this for yourself. Mm-hmm. So you don't carry this energy. It's funny. Like I never talk about it. It's going to be on my podcast. I never dislike anybody. Mm-hmm. If I like you, it means you probably screw me over $10 million. Then I like you. But I love everybody. Everybody. Yeah. After divorce, I hate my ex-wife. And I'm like, I can't carry this stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, and I went completely to work. And I really didn't do it for her. I did it for me. Because I was scared that the feeling I have towards one person, I don't dislike anybody. I like everybody. Like, you screw me over something or you did something really bad, then I like you. And there was only a few people. So I didn't want the feeling carry. So I did this for myself. When I did it, I cheated a little bit. I went through ayahuasca process.
Okay.
So I did ayahuasca and then everything, the energy left me. And suddenly, I love her for everything she's done. And suddenly the gratitude came. It's like, because I was scared that the little thing, the one person, the feelings, it's going to poison my body. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I let it go and I truly I did this for my kids. No, I did it for me.
Right.
So I cannot give the energy back and this cannot, spread around my body like a cancer.
Yeah. So true.
So walk me through in your childhood, how was your childhood and let's go back. How is your relationship with your parents now when you...
Well, my father passed away in 2016, very young age. He was 56. And I still cope. That was a very hard for me. I think I was closer to my dad because as a girl, you always want mom to be your role model. she wasn't there for me. So I think that like, I don't want to say hate, but when I was younger, the hate towards her put me closer to my dad. So when he passed, it was very, very difficult for me. My mom, now we have a working good relationship, but it's because I put the work, and I'm okay with that. So when I was like, my parents used to drink a lot. I think back then, I mean, you know, you're from Poland.
I'm Polish.
Alcohol, I mean,
I talk about it in my book. It's like everywhere.
a lot of alcohol, right? And I think that alcohol was just that medicine for their pain that they couldn't.
It was self-medication.
Right.
But we recognize it also like a drinking, partying, and socializing. So it's a self-medication.
It's a self-medication, yes. So back when I was in high school, they were, you know, drinking all the time. They were arguing. Obviously, it was just either drunk or arguing. I had a younger sister that I had raised basically by myself. So I carry a lot of pain, a lot of hate. I want to be like other kids. The mom is a doctor, or they have like functional family. I couldn't bring friends around because the house was always just messy and it smelled like alcohol and cigarettes. They were always drunk. So I was like living in my grandma's, then living with my boyfriend, like all over the place. My sister moved out when she was 13 years old and went to live with our aunt. So just a lot of that. So then when I left Poland because of them. But that's a blessing too. You know, I was like, I can't stand this. And not having money to, like, when I was in college, let's say had like $2, let's say. Now, like, either I'm buying a bus ticket to go to school because it's winter and it's snowing, or I'm walking through the snow for an hour because the school was an hour away, and then I'm buying myself a sandwich. So there was no, you know, so it's just tough. But it made me so strong mentally. I'm like, I can survive. I mean, I can survive anywhere. Like, if I survive this, I can survive anything. So a lot of the resentment towards my parents. And then when I start going back to Poland, I would argue with my mom every single time. Every single Christmas was ruined because we were always talking about the past, and her reality was completely different from what we remembered.
Yep.
So finally, one time, it was so bad that we almost became physical. It was so bad. And she, of course, stopped talking to me. I came back home here, and I was like, okay, this is it. I will never do this again. I'm going to actually change myself and change my reaction to what she says. Because honestly, if I keep living in the past, I will never grow from this. This is going to be the end of the relationship. And I knew at the moment that if I wouldn't call and say, I'm sorry, she would never call. And I would never be talking to her again. So I'm like, I'm going to be this better person. I'm just going to say I'm sorry. And I will never talk about past. Past is past. Let's move on. And let's just be a better people in the future. And that's what I did. So I called. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to argue. And that's what I remember. But it honestly doesn't matter at this point because it was 20 years ago. Who cares right now? Like, who cares, you know? And now I make a conscious effort when I go. If something comes up, I just change the subject. You know, sometimes I have a hard time.
Versus the past.
Right. I have a hard time because her mindset is still the same mindset when she was, 20, 30, 40. And she talks to my sister kids the same way. And I want to like really choke her and be like, stop talking like this, because don't make these kids like you made us. But I'm trying to make like, hey, let's play. Let's just go outside without being like, stop doing this, And I keep
You don't think your mom is still your trigger? So it's like, because we see that reflection of everything we still have to work out.
Yeah, she is. And
my kids still bring all all this stuff that is still like, and when I see in them, I see in myself.
Oh,
the same,
100%.
The same thing with my queen. It's like whatever the triggers that she does, it's the stuff that I have to work on.
Right.
It's still unhealed portion of me that is like, I know it's
right.
the rest of the journey.
But you know what? It's important, like, to realize that anyone else, whether it's my mom, whoever, I have no control over them. I can only control myself. And she is how she is because that's how she is raised. That's her subconscious mind and the program that she has. I'm not going to change that. She's 64 years. Like, how am I going to change that? What she believes, she believes. How she was raised, she raised us the same way because there was no one else to taught her any other way. Like, you know, I told you before, my dad.
Let's talk about
my father was a genuinely very good man. He did a lot for my community. He was a chief of fire department. He acquired a lot of land. He helped a lot of people. He helped a lot of families. He did amazing things, but he didn't know how to be a father because no one taught him how to be a father. So when he came home, all he was doing was drinking because he didn't know any other way because his parents were abusive. So, like, what can you expect? You know, back then, I mean, there was no therapist. And gosh, if someone said psychologist word, oh my God.
It still does.
It's still to this, you know, right. So I truly think that if they were taught differently, if they had more resources, even books, social media, maybe it would have been different. But at this point, like, I can only change myself. I can work on myself. All I can control is myself. And what I'm trying to do now is, like, I'm trying to educate, like, my sister because she needs a lot of work. It's the same story, you know, and give her kids opportunities for growth and to be the best version of themselves, you know, like, don't lock them in this mindset of you're not enough. And
well, now we have the access to social media. We have access to everything, and we can listen to the podcast. We can listen to all these influencers that actually do talk about that a lot. And it's funny. It doesn't matter who I talk to, and we talk about the childhood, all the trauma that we carry, the pain and the healing journey. We all were hurt by the parents.
Yeah.
And but the parents still love us. Like I told you before we spoke that I'm a father of 5. And I still do some. I still scrub. Yesterday I scrubbed something again, and I do it like unconsciously. At that time, I thought I do the best I can, but then a month later, I was like, I can't believe it. I said that. I did that. So it's just kind of, it's a constant journey, and we have the access. Now everything is global. We have the access to everybody. Our parents didn't have that. Our grandparents didn't have that either. So we it's not that we don't love our children because my parents always love me like beyond unconditionally, still do.
Yeah.
They together like 60 years now, but they at that time they
didn't know any better.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the scars they give it to us, we carry, and it's like finally it's like enough is enough.
Right.
So what is next?
What's next? On professionally, on a business level, obviously, growth is always the next step. More podcasts, more speaking engagements. That would be it. Would love to grow my company to enormous, scale it enormously. On a personal level, I think, and I want to actually say it because I think that the more I'm going to talk about this one project I'm doing, I'm going to make it happen. Right. It's going to make my brain to lock me in. I want to give back to community. My hometown is very poor, and the kids, there's 300 kids that they want to play soccer. There's no soccer field. So they're going from one school to another. Kids are getting obese over there because everyone is sitting on a phone because there's no parks, no nothing. Not like here that every subdivision has a park and kids can play. Over there is much different. So city doesn't, or my town doesn't care. They don't have money. They broke. So I made a promise to myself. I'm going to buy, there's old soccer field. I'm going to buy this soccer field and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to submit project to European Union to help me fund it, find investors, not investors because it's more like donation, or raise money. I'm going to make or build this soccer field with like lockers so they can, showers, lockers. So these kids can go and play and get away from the cell phones and be active and then form social connections, because that's how kids need to play together like we did as kids, right? So that's my, if I can help 300 kids, and I believe if I have a soccer field, it's going to be more and more because parents would love to send kids somewhere. So that's on my personal level. Like I want the more money I make, the more I want to give. I think that's my mission, that I so deeply feel it. Like on a personal level, that's my passion. And I want to grow businesses here because at some point I want to spend more time in Poland. So I want to do these little projects, and from the bottom of my heart. And I talked to a town president and he's like, no one would do that. I don't believe you would just want to buy a soccer field and give it to kids. I'm like, why you people don't believe there are just good people on a planet that just truly want to help without financial agenda? Like, I just want to help you. I'm like, you got to change your mindset because you are surrounded by wrong people if you think that everyone that you're in contact with has some sort of agenda. And he's like, it's not a good investment. I'm like, I'm not investing. I'm asking to buy that field so I can remodel and have kids play. So we are like...
Because remember, it depends on what level you meet people. What happens is if they went entire life on the transactional relationships, that's what they think, is everything is transactional. And what happens is our awareness level and the conscious level is a lot higher, and we want to help because that's what we know that's the next step. So that's...
You got to leave something behind. So you see, what I want to say, for people who only care about materialistic things, I feel so bad for them. It's just not a good way of living. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have inner wealth, other wealth only gives you options, right? You have options. You can financially, you have options. Inner wealth gives you meaning. If you don't have both,
the meaning, the fulfillment, the purpose,
right, the passion, the self-love.
So that's why, now we get pulled towards, we always, me, I was always pushing. Now I get pulled. It's now when even one tell my every morning, I was always looking for abundance, but I never told myself that I'm abundant.
You are.
So whatever it is, so I have to build it. But we have to build it. So how do we build the inner wealth, the resilience, the discipline, the perseverance? How do we build it? Both of us, we have the same story. Okay, we were told that we're introvert, that we're stupid, that we're not enough, that we're never gonna make it. And how do we? Because there's a lot of people going through the same stuff. And I'm telling you, it's not. Sometimes it's by parents, consciously, unconsciously. A lot of time with me, I was a swimmer, so was my coaches, right? My teachers, my siblings, my friends. Wow. So how do we tell people just the bullshit story? It's an old story, and you can change the life. And how do we?
That's a good question. How do you coach other person?
Well, sometimes we don't have to coach. Sometimes, because for me, it was sometimes one sentence. Like I told you, my queen said, "Who said that you socially awkward?" Well, I've been told that. Yeah. I'm like, that's not true. You're not socially awkward. But what happened, because I was told so many times, I believe it. And then it becomes my identity. Yeah. And the identity becomes, even though we are told by many people, until you tell this yourself, it becomes yours. And now how do is hey, no, I'm done. I'm smart. I'm not stupid. I'm ugly. No, I'm not ugly. I'm pretty. I'm wealthy, but not the outer world, the inner world. I'm wealthy. I carry the wealth. Nobody can. How do we? Because for me, it was one sentence, and it just get me out, and also the pain that I went through. How do we tell people don't just start the journey in healing?
I would just say
Cut the bullshit story.
stop the bull. Like leave the past in the past, and just live in the future. I think that would be a first step. If you can stop thinking about what happened 5 years ago and think about the negative emotions or things that, you know, shaped you, and stop like drilling it, like leave the past in the past, think in the future, think what you want to be tomorrow, and that's what's going to shape your or help to shape your reality. That's what I think. I think that's how I don't live in the past anymore, because that's not me. I became a completely different person. And I think that people have to realize that in order to become someone else, you got to get out of comfort zone, and you got to forget of who you were yesterday. You have to just build a brand new, so who you want to be. You just got to, and I'm not saying like...
But you came to United States, but you 2005 and no English, no nothing. And it's just like, but you still carry your old story.
I do carry old.
So the not enoughness...
It's still, yeah, because it's...
But it builds you. It goes like, I'm going to prove it.
Yes, there is a, yes. So it motivates you, right? Like if someone tells, at some point someone tells you, no, you're stupid. No, I'm going to prove you better.
Watch.
We'll just watch.
Yes, watch.
Yeah, and it's a perfect, actually, you said that. That's what when I had this discussion with the town president about this, I'm like, you watch me. I'm going to show you and I'm going to prove you. So there is, I don't know if that's a little bit like genetically too. Immigrants in general, I feel they go through a different journey to make a living. And if you know what I mean.
Tell us. I know exactly. I want to come out of
there is so much work that you have to do emotionally, because you come to the country that it's not yours. No one wants you here. You don't speak English. I mean, when I started working in a hospital, I barely spoke English. And the first day I was walking through the hallway and I hear a desk receptionist in the hospital saying, "Since when we hiring Barbies?" And I was like, what is she talking about? I'm here to work hard. And I proved myself. But the pain, you have to, like, no English, no family, no friends. That's a totally different level of work. And maybe that's what makes us better at the end, because we mentally...
We have a bigger appreciation because...
Maybe.
Because we came from a country that was nothing there. That was so hard to get anything.
Yeah, anything.
And suddenly we got here and we got all the opportunities. The only thing we know... We got to work hard, and people walk you through.
So true.
People walk you through. People help you. If you prove yourself, and we have the work ethics, because, and discipline. We appreciate, and we're not entitled to all this stuff. We want to get there.
True.
So that's what it gave us.
The other thing is to, I'm missing my point, about like the work ethic, the self-discipline, like you hear... You have to, there's no other, like, what are you going to do? Like, you got to get up in the morning and you got to work your hardest to prove that you are as good as the person born here with all the opportunities, right? So I think that's what discipline is a key to in everything, like mental or physical or anything in life. I feel like how we struggle in Poland, when I came here, I was making $7 an hour, and I thought that I had a lot of money because I didn't have that $7 in Poland. So
I was making $4 an hour.
Oh my God, even better.
I was a dishwasher. It was 90. It was 93. I was making $4 an hour, and I was smoking cigarettes, and the cigarettes were $5 an hour.
Oh my God.
$5 a pack.
So no, I was making $7 an hour. I remember I was driving to work when I got my first car. I was so proud of. I was driving, passing 7-Eleven, and I love coffee. And a coffee back then cost $1.11. And I was driving and thinking, do I really want this coffee, or maybe I can skip it? I would tell myself, oh, you're going to get it tomorrow. And then tomorrow I would say the same thing. At the end of the week, I had like almost $8 saved. I was like, oh my gosh, I have $8. I can actually go and buy a t-shirt now. See, you don't need the coffee. And so that is and I don't want to say it like negative or offensive or anything like that, but generation now, they're people born here, they're totally different. They don't.
But it's not. I think it's not only born here. Is we as a human nature, we take shit for granted. We
So
just
true. Yeah.
You know, it's like when COVID happened, and it's a true story. It's a true story. COVID happened. They closed the beaches, and it's like, oh my friends, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't go to the beach. Like, what the fuck? Where did you go to the beach last time? 6 years ago. Why are you complaining about?
About it, yeah.
What?
So true.
Suddenly was taken away, and it's the same thing. I always talk about the two. The most skiers per capita are in South Florida because we don't have a mountain and snow. The more scuba diving per capita are in Colorado because they don't have ocean. So we always want something we don't have.
Yes.
So this is a human nature. This is our mind. But I got a question for you. Now you are, 2 years ago you got awakened and you understand all the bullshit story we told ourselves, and we understand the inner wealth and the inner work we have to do on ourselves, forgive everybody, love, you are love, self-love. Somebody asked me, I want to say Alexis last time asked me that. She said, Jarek, would you accomplish same if you knew what you know right now?
Would I accomplish same thing?
Financially, the same thing, knowing that that's not that important anymore.
Well, I think if I knew back then what I know now, I probably would be in a totally different level. I would be at your level now if I knew that, what I know. So sometimes I am like, wow, why didn't I know? Why this is taking me so long, right? So why didn't I awaken 10 years ago and be like, oh my God, this is it. But I think, so yes, I would definitely, in my case, if I knew what I know now, I would be probably a billionaire building soccer fields in Poland in every single little town. But on the other hand, I think the universe, that's how it has to be. You have to go through whatever is in front of you. That's what you have to go through. And maybe this is my timing.
So let me rephrase the question. Then materialistic, the outer, the business, the winning in business are not important because the faith, the love, the God.
Right.
This is more important. So you don't think that you will switch the time and energy instead of.
I know what you're saying.
I built my empire.
I'm not
prove it to everybody else that I'm good enough, that I'm enough, that I made it.
Yes.
So it was not a million, 10 million, 100 million, hundreds of millions, and then car, jets, yachts. And then it lasted a little bit, and then I'm still not enough. I'm still stupid. I'm still ugly. I'm still empty. I'm still lucky. And right now, I would not need all the outside validation because now I
know
have
what you're saying.
So,
yes, in that aspect. But with me, I feel like I was building outer wealth in integration with inner wealth. Kind of simultaneously. I had few moments that I completely lost everything and rebuilt, So my inner is kind of aligned. My outer came first, but in close proximity. But yes, you are right. If I...
Well, I'm not asking am I right or wrong.
No, but I know.
Because I have been asked the question.
Looking from this perspective, yes, if I knew the inner wealth and that's what's really important, then you don't care about anything else. Yes. So potentially you could be like, well, I don't care about money because I have this and I'm happy with this. What would I care? Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I was chasing always to prove. And then right now, I don't need to chase. But what happened is, that's why I asked you the question. But what happened is when you stop chasing, all the stuff comes. The abundance comes. It's
you gotta.
Yeah. So my answer to this is, I think I would be a lot farther, but not financially, but emotionally. And with connections, because I lost connections with myself. I lost connection with people that I love. I lost connection with God, and now I just sharing. And even like this podcast, like our conversation, if it helps one person, I think that's what I like. I want to help 8 billion people right now. I don't want people go through. I want to talk about brain health, the emotional awareness, emotional fitness, emotional intelligence. I want to say this, break the stigma of mental health. There's something wrong with you, because we all go through mentally through anxiety attack, depression attack, panic attacks. It's normal. You are not different. You're not stupid. You're not weird. We all go through it.
Right.
And especially in a men industry, it's like we put the poker mask and we cover the pain. So that's why I ask. So
on that note, when you talk about mental or emotional intelligence, mental wellness from like a medical perspective, because whoever is watching it, I kind of want to share this. It is important to understand, especially in this country, when 96% of populations has some sort of metabolic dysfunction, that physical health has such a profound impact on your mental. Because you're in a great shape, right? But think about if you are inflamed, let's say if you have autoimmune issues, if you are obese or whatever is going on, you're not healthy. Your brain is not healthy too. Brain is the part of your body. If you're inflamed here, you're going to be inflamed here. If you're inflamed in your brain, the most common symptoms are anxiety, depression. That's what your brain is going to present. Like something is wrong here, and then you're going to have it, or like brain fog, fatigue, stuff, things like that. You gotta take care of yourself physically too, because the mental component and physical health are very much aligned,
So I'm questioning myself. So I'm gonna put you on the spot, because I question myself, because everybody talks about gym. Nobody talks about brain gym, mind gym. We go to the gym. There's so many machines, hundreds of them,
right?
Hundreds. And then you also can go outside. You can go swim, bike, run. You can do everything physically. If it comes to the mental gym, like gym for mind, for brain, nobody talks about it. Okay, what do? You pray, you meditate. You just kind of, now it's NED Plus. There's a lot of other supplements that I take personally. And I notice when I hit my bottom of my bottom, my mind, because I was always in the good physical shape. I was doing Ironmans, I was a swimmer. But what happened is my mind gave first.
Yeah, mental health.
My mind, my brain broke first, and then my body followed.
Yeah.
So when you lay in bed for 40, 45 days, I have zero muscles.
Yeah.
Because, my muscles disappeared. So, and for me, physical and emotional and mental, it's completely connected.
Yes.
But from my personal, and there are doctors, I'm not a doctor. I think for me, it starts here. Because I always had here, that's what I always have here. But yes.
So the thing
we don't talk about it. We don't.
I know that's
like I like what
maybe
you said.
We can do a project. Maybe we can find a way to educate.
But holistic though. I don't want any injections. I don't want any medicine. Like I'm completely against sedating. Yeah. Like I'm against drugs. I'm against alcohol.
I'm same way.
I'm okay with peptides. I'm okay with I'm really on NED Plus. I love. By the way, Sam. Sam is, he's accountable for me to live 150. And you think I'm kidding. Sam Liquavida, it's kudos to you.
I love Sam Liquavida, amazing
so
business.
He's accountable.
He's my role model. I'm like, I'm going to have 40 locations of Supreme one day.
That's easy.
Speaking of, going back to your point, mental health always first, in my opinion, because like you said, body follows the mind.
Yes.
If you physically, if I'm physically in pain, I have a stomach pain or whatever, I can go to work and work. I can see clients, I can do consultations, I can function because I'm gonna, whatever, I just forget. Mentally, if I wake up and mentally I feel like that's it, I don't have it, it is so hard for me. I still go to work, but the first thing I say to her, I'm like, I'm not my energy is very low today. I apologize in advance if I'm not being how I should be, because I struggle. That's why I know mental always first. Body follows the mind.
So what do you do for your brain health?
Oh, I honestly do a lot. So I meditate now. Every day in the morning, I do it for like 10 to 15 minutes. Gratitude meditation for like good energy, good day. I sleep 8 hours a night. I go to bed at 9 p.m. It's game changer. So 9 p.m., 9:30 would be like the most. I get up like at 5:30 a.m. I do brain tap at work sometimes, which is like the meditation. I do red light therapy with PMF.
I do brain mapping too, the thing. So I do
okay, that's
brain tap is meditation, and the brain mapping I do.
Yeah. So, and hyperbaric chamber. And honestly, hyperbaric chamber probably for how it makes me feel cognitively the best.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any physical injury, so I don't feel physically, let's say, better, but mentally, and I can tell my husband has a tremendous improvement in cognitive, mental wellness from chamber. So I'm a firm believer. I do it once a week because I don't need it more. And I take nootropics. I take like NR, which is the NAD precursor. I take, vitamin D because it's the antidepressant per se. I take something called methylene blue, which is phenomenal for your brain because it interacts with serotonin and dopamine.
Yeah.
So naturally enhances the serotonin levels. And it's also great antioxidant.
Guys, we're gonna put all the stuff we're gonna put like all the lists on a podcast.
It's called methylene blue. Very, very powerful compound. And I take it only mainly for the brain. It resets your mitochondria. So you have mitochondria makes your energy, so makes brain energy. People call it oxygenator, and it makes your brain makes your brain more oxygenated too. So all of that, and actually, if you combine methylene blue with hyperbaric chamber, you're like on steroids, without steroids, like you very, very energized. People take it with red light therapy because because methylene blue is going to absorb light from the red light therapy and make you even more energized. So that's what I do. It works for me. My brain energy is like phenomenal. I sometimes struggle with physical energy and I don't want to go to the gym, but I'll still go because the brain takes me and my legs will just follow, That's why brain health first. And I'm not sure why we don't talk about it. I feel that we still into a Western medicine that it's not preventive. It's more reactive. So you're treating the symptoms. No one wants to go to psychiatrist and be diagnosed with something, right? Mm-hmm. So you're treating physical symptoms, but the mental health is being ignored. That's why we have so many issues nowadays, especially in the younger population, So.
Okay. Well, guys, we're going to put all the stuff she mentioned. We're going to put on a podcast so you can just follow and buy the products. And one more last question.
Sure.
What's your superpower?
Superpower. Wow. Would it be giving back to community superpower? I am like I think everyone who knows me, I'm very generous. I will buy things for other people way before I buy something for me. I don't need anything because I've never had anything. So if I have two of something, that's too much. I can only handle one. The rest just goes. So I always think, well, how can I make other people happy? So I think would it be that superpower? Sure. I don't know. Sure. But I think,
giving is living. I think giving is living. That's what we do right now.
Just giving, and I want to give more, and I want to say that so the whole world listens. I think my mission in this life is to actually just give back to community and make other people's lives easier.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can follow Dominika on Instagram. Where we can find you?
Dominika_Supreme Wellness.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Leave your comments and subscribe for more insights on mastering the inner and outer wealth.